Okay, excuse me, I think I'm having a little bit of a cold, but I collected a sum of game titles here that I feel Bijuu Mike should consider playing. 100% honesty here, I did just randomly search on YouTube for indie game trailers that Bijuu Mike could consider playing since Bijuu Mike plays a lot of random crap. I guess he has been running out of game ideas, which is no surprise considering he uploads almost every day. I can imagine you'd run out of games eventually. So I went out of my way to search through various game trailers to decide what suggestions I would have liked to give, because I don't have the balls to leave a comment. Now, mind you, I'm basing this off the trailer alone because I didn't want to spoil the game for myself in case Mike decides to play it. Sadly, I mean Bijuu Mike, not SuperHorrorBro Mike, but Bijuu's there to mend the wounds, I guess. Number 1, Interdimensional Vending Machine. I came off on this one by accident when I was watching a SPA a year ago. I don't mean the game, I mean the channel. The channel that the game's played. The channel playing the game, actually. The channel is called Your Game, a gaming channel that specializes in visual novels of variety. I do want to warn you, though, Your Game is more focused on a particularly popular form of visual novels. And yes, I mean the 18-plus content kind. I was giving up on visual novels in general because it was breaking down my sanity. So while going through the phase of abandoning that genre of visual novelties, which wasn't that hard since I found them disgusting anyway, I came across a game that looked incredibly exotic. Now, mind you, I would never stray away from a SPA because I like her in general, but her content just wasn't holding up because it was traumatizing me. So, if you live in a middle-class tax bracket, you have had that one day right before payday where you were crawling around the house making scraps for dinner. That hungry feeling that tells you you'll eat anything but not really. Or if you come from a more impoverished, sometimes middle-class tax bracket, you have had more than your fair share of nights where you went to bed hungry. That feeling is a tiny reminder of the lives outside of your little lifestyle where people are starving and homeless. This game is about that feeling. You do anything to dispose of that hunger, so this vending machine, you prop coins in and then you get something in return. Sometimes something good, sometimes something bad, sometimes something you really shouldn't digest, but this protagonist will eat anything this vending machine gives her. I actually watched the full playthrough, but to my knowledge, and according to Your Game's channel, the game received an update a couple of weeks ago, and I guarantee you right now, I remember next to nothing about the majority of the things that happened in that game. But I still really liked it. I would love to see Bijuu Mike play this one. The atmosphere in general is interesting, and what comes out of that vending machine is even more intriguing. Number 2, Stars in the Trash. First off, let's start with the price. According to Google, which is in correlation to the information you get on Steam, the game is $12 US. Of course, I'm not guaranteeing it is, but the game is based off old cartoons that you usually get like Tom and Jerry and Looney Tunes. The twisted expressions and the movement looks really smooth, and it has that classic plump bouncing animation that the older animations used to have. According to what I could find, the game is more of an adventure story, like trying to find your place in this world or something humble like that. I found this one randomly in between indie horror game trailers that I was skimming through, and I think Bijuu might find it interesting. It's a strategy-based game with, again, quality animation. I think that price is mild in comparison to the price you have to pay for a little game called Little Misfortune. Seems this unfortunate little girl is making $20 a copy off of any player who falls for this helpless child. Then again, there is a game on this list that costs $20, so let's not start pointing fingers, of course. The game is cute, and the mechanic looks distracting, and I think people would appreciate a little variety when it comes to Bijuu Mike's content. Or not, I don't really know what his content's about. Okay, let's say Around the Clock at Bikini Bottom, for example. The game is really well done with its cutscenes, the noises they edited in, not to mention the 3D shapes actually look accurate and not as distorted as games tend to make them. You know, the Bikini Bottom or the SpongeBob characters in general. So consider... my tongue got tied, sorry. Okay, so consider Stars in the Trash as a little variety from his usual content. Of course, he doesn't have to play it, since I guess Around the Clock at Bikini Bottom didn't really do that well when it came to views. I guess he has a brain rot fan base, I don't know. Number 3, Sumatra, Fate of Yandi. I actually don't know if he's going to play this one because, again, his fan base seems to like brain rot. Okay, the game is $8. Or maybe it is, maybe it's not. The prices vary. I tried to get I tried to get the most accurate price, okay? It has pixelated animations, a solid story, alongside the fact that a guy from a village gets washed away from his home. That's the best part of this one. Not to mention, it's not very popular. It's a point-and-click game. This game would be perfect for Mike. Point-and-click, I mean, come on. The reason I feel he should play this one is because it would be an opportunity missed. In all honesty, I just saw the trailer. I keep adding that like it's some kind of confession, though. So, it's a point-and-click adventure game, which is exactly the same as what Franbo and Little Misfortune was. I think Bijuu Mike might like it. It's really cheap. It'd keep his subscribers distracted, or scrubs, I guess I should call them. And it's a 3-hour-long game, so he'll be set for 3 days, since I guess like one playthrough would be like an hour or 40 minutes or so. Before he needs to go freaking out for another game. There's really not much else I can add, except I really like it. The story seems interesting. I mean, come on, it's got a variety of characters, so, yeah. Okay, number 4. Totally accurate battle simulator. Okay, do you guys remember when I admitted that one of the games on this list cost $20? Well, this is it. In my honest opinion, I really don't think it's worth $20. It looks kind of a bit terrible, but to add credibility to the price, Corey Kenshin did play it. And if you're asking yourself, who the hell is that, then you're about as informed as I am, because the only reason I know he's considered popular is because SuperHorrorBro mentioned him once, and he ranks millions of views on each video, which is incredible. I did not watch anything within the playthrough itself. I didn't even touch the video. This is not to say anything other than the fact I only watched the trailer. I have no idea whether or not I'd be able to watch Bijuu Mike play this, because the trailer was just a bunch of humanoid shapes dressed as battle soldiers colliding into one another. It looks like the kind of game that Bijuu Mike would play, since he's a fan of battle cats and he likes random 3D shapes with humor. The fact that the title of the game is literally Totally Accurate Battle Simulator indicates that the game does not take itself seriously, and I can tell that somebody like Bijuu Mike likes games like that. I also think his fanbase really likes that as well, because if you take a look at his view count, the amount of views he gets for playing Baldi mods, in comparison to the other games that take themselves more seriously, it doesn't compare. Again, a brain rot fanbase, like no offense, but the most crap things have the most views. Now, because Bijuu Mike himself can't take anything seriously, so his fanbase works for him. Except for bad parenting, he took that one a little too seriously. Slight random confession. I know I pride myself on my loyalty to SuperHorrorBro, but I kind of ditched him once when Bijuu Mike played bad parenting. I thought SuperHorrorBro wasn't going to cover it, and when he did, I already knew the twist, and the sad part about that is I liked Bijuu Mike's more realistic reactions than I liked SuperHorrorBro's. Because the difference is that Bijuu Mike reacted to the child breaking his neck. SuperHorrorBro let it pass like a cutscene. And I can't explain why Bijuu Mike's reaction meant more than SuperHorrorBro's. It just made me realize that where SuperHorrorBro can't reach, I have Bijuu Mike for that. So you do need two different kinds of gamers to keep the flow going. Okay, number 5. Vermin God. Man, we're going through these. I'm only 5 minutes in this thing. Oh, no, wait, that's about 9 minutes, probably. Okay. I found this one as a search tab underneath Interdimensional Vending Machine. Vermin God has an interesting art style alongside a creepy story about parasites, which is something we could all get used to. I am taking deep breaths here. I'm barely breathing, just so you know, okay? Not that you needed to, though. It plays like a visual novel, and I know full well that Bijuu Mike would not mind playing a visual novel. According to the description, every decision you make counts, so I assume it must have multiple endings, or at least more than 2. I don't know anything about the story or much more than what Google can teach you about the game, but take it as a simple indie horror game that's free of charge and gives Bijuu Mike something to play. Because we don't tune into Bijuu Mike for the games, we tune in for his reactions. It's also inspired off of something called SCP-027, which is translated to the Vermin God. According to my comparison, it means he's a king of some kind of parasite that attacks the host and tries to gain control over their bodies in order to attack others. Like an anomaly. It kind of reminds me of No, I'm Not a Human. Bijuu Mike also didn't play the new update, but I wouldn't pin it against him, since he doesn't pride himself in keeping up with horror games. Okay, number 6. Into the Unwell. One thing I immediately noticed about this game was the animation and the similarity between this game and another certain little quirky game out there, but we won't speculate, so the animation looks interesting. It's not appealing or unattractive, it's something that keeps my eye on it. I can't explain it, but something in the back of my mind just froze in place when I noticed the animation. Now, we all know if there's one thing Bijuu Mike likes, it's horror game ripoffs. He likes laughing at them and encouraging them, not mind you. There's no established price on the game, so we'll just say it is a game that costs real money. But point is, this game is about substance abuse instead of gambling. Number 7, Habromania. My second favorite one off this entire list. The demo is free, so Bijuu Mike doesn't have to cough up his soul. The game looks like Mad Father Frambo and Alice Madness had one abomination and tossed it out the window. It's an RPG. I never really saw Bijuu Mike play an RPG before, but I'm sure he wouldn't mind playing a free demo. The description refers to her situation as a cozy hellscape, which means it could possibly be part of the psychological horror aspect that Alice Madness also had, since her Wonderland looked like she was comfortable with it despite the fact that it looked the way it looked. I think a game like this would have been perfect for SuperHorrorBro, but he made it evidently clear that he'll only be covering mainstream games. Which, yes, I'm very unhappy about that. I really don't like that. But Habromania has a— mind you, he didn't even cover Silent Hill properly. We didn't even get a story explained, and he promised one. Whatever, I guess. Habromania has an interesting art style, an intense storyline, possibly some interesting game mechanics. And who knows if there are puzzles. I'm mainly here for the art style because it's incredibly simple and very distracting. I also want to see what kind of concepts they've taken from Alice Madness and what characters they kept in from the original Alice in Wonderland. Now, the reason why I will never play this game is because, do I own a laptop for something like that? I do own a laptop, but it wouldn't be able to sustain a game like that. I don't know, this laptop's pretty old. Okay, anyway, conclusion, because that's always the most important part of any video, isn't it? That's the end of the list. I hope Bijuu Mike at least gets wind of a new game somewhere or finds something he's interested in, since I think a lot of viewers can tell that he just doesn't know what to do with himself. Or maybe he does. Maybe he's been getting more suggestions from other people. Anyway, have a good one, and I'll see you next week. Again, maybe. I might die, so I don't want to make any empty promises.